long before Samson ever tore a lion apart, long before the Philistines feared his name, long before Delilah ever touched his hair, Israel was already a broken nation. They were no longer free. For many years, the people of Israel lived under the rule of the Philistines. For 40 years, the Philistines oppressed Israel. In a small, quiet village in the land of Dan, lived a man named Manoah and his wife. They had no children. Year after year, Manoah's wife prayed. One ordinary day, everything changed. As she stood alone in the field, a strange presence filled the air. A man stood before her, but not an ordinary man. His face shone with a brightness that was not of this world. He said to her, "You are barren and have no children, but you will conceive and give birth to a son." Her heart stopped. The angel continued, "This child will be dedicated to God from the womb. No razor must touch his head. He will be a Nazarite, set apart for the Lord, and he will begin to deliver Israel from the Philistines." Before she could ask anything, the angel disappeared. She ran back to her house. She burst through the door and found Manoah. Breathless, she said, "A man of God appeared to me. His face was like the face of an angel. He told me I will have a son." Manoah was shocked, confused, afraid. He believed her, but he wanted certainty. So Manoah prayed. He said, "O Lord, please let the man of God come again and teach us how to raise this child." And God answered. The angel returned. This time, both of them saw him. Manoah asked many questions. How should we raise the boy? What should he eat? What must he not do? The angel repeated the instructions. The child must drink no wine. He must eat nothing unclean. No razor must touch his head. He belongs to God. In time, she became pregnant, and she gave birth to a son. They named him Samson. From the moment he was born, the Spirit of the Lord began to move upon him. As Samson grew, it became clear he was not like other children. He was stronger, faster, fearless. Other boys struggled to lift what Samson carried easily. Where others tired, Samson continued. Where others feared. One day, Samson traveled toward the land of the Philistines and saw a woman who pleased him. Against his parents' advice, he insisted on marrying her. They warned him, but Samson would not listen. He believed he could walk among his enemies without consequence. On the journey to meet her, a young lion suddenly attacked him from the bushes. But the Spirit of the Lord came upon Samson, and with his bare hands, he tore the lion apart as though it were nothing. He told no one what had happened. Later, at his wedding feast, Samson challenged the Philistines with a riddle. They could not solve it. In desperation, they threatened his wife until she forced Samson to reveal the answer. When the Philistines solved the riddle, Samson realized he had been betrayed. His heart burned with anger. He left the feast, killed 30 Philistine men, and took their clothing as payment. The marriage was destroyed. Trust was broken, and Samson's war with the Philistines had truly begun. After the betrayal, Samson returned in fury. When he learned that his wife had been taken by another man, his anger turned into vengeance. He captured foxes, tied burning torches to their tails, and released them into the Philistine fields. Their farms, vineyards, and harvests were consumed by fire. The Philistines responded with violence, killing Samson's former wife and her family. This only deepened Samson's rage. He attacked them again, striking many down before retreating to the hills. Soon, the Philistines gathered an army and demanded that Israel hand Samson over. Fearful, 3,000 Israelites went to Samson and begged him to surrender, hoping to avoid destruction. Samson agreed, allowing them to bind him with ropes. But when the Philistines approached, the Spirit of the Lord rushed upon Samson. The ropes fell from his arms like threads. He found the jawbone of a donkey, and with it, he struck down 1,000 men. From that day, Samson judged Israel for many years. The Philistines had tried swords, traps, ambushes, and armies, and all had failed. And that was when Delilah entered his life. She lived in the valley of Sorek, a place filled with vineyards, soft winds, and dangerous beauty. When Samson met her, he felt something different. She laughed with him. She touched the parts of his heart no enemy had ever reached. And slowly, without Samson realizing it, she became more important to him than his calling. But behind her smile, another story was being written. The rulers of the Philistines came to Delilah in secret. They offered her a reward greater than anything she had ever known. One evening, As Samson rested, Delilah spoke softly. "Tell me," she said, "what makes you so strong? How can anyone ever defeat you?" Samson smiled. He thought it was a game. He told her that if someone tied him with fresh bowstrings, he would become weak. That night, while Samson slept, Delilah tied him and called the Philistines. "Samson, the Philistines are here." Samson broke the ropes like dry grass. Delilah laughed, but inside, she learned something. So she tried again. Samson told her another lie, that new ropes would weaken him. Again she betrayed him. Again he escaped. But this time, Delilah did not laugh. She began to cry. "You don't love me," she said. "You keep secrets from me. If you loved me, you would trust me, day after day, night after night." And for the first time in his life, he spoke the truth. He told her about the vow, about his hair, about God. And that night, while Samson slept with his head on her lap, Delilah called for a man with a blade. Strand by strand, his hair was cut. Not just his hair, but his covenant. When Samson awoke and heard her voice again, he stood up like always. But this time, nothing happened. No strength, no fire, no power. The Spirit of the Lord had left him. The Philistines rushed in. They did not fear him anymore. They captured him, blinded him, chained him, and dragged him into darkness. The strongest man alive fell without a fight, and in the silence of the prison, for the first time in his life, his hair began to grow again. Samson sat alone, grinding grain like an animal. The hands that once tore lions apart were now chained. The eyes that once saw angels were now blind. The man who shook nations was now a joke to his enemies. The Philistines laughed at him. Children threw stones at him. Soldiers mocked him. Priests of false gods pointed and said, "Where is your God now?" And Samson said nothing. But inside him, something was changing. Not anger like before. Not pride like before. Not strength like before. This time, it was humility. For the first time in his life, Samson was not asking God for power. He was asking for mercy. Every night in the darkness, he prayed, "I failed you. I trusted myself more than you. I loved pleasure more than purpose. If you ever hear me again, just remember me." And while Samson prayed, his hair kept growing. Slowly, quietly, like hope returning. Then one day, the Philistines decided it was time to celebrate. They gathered thousands of people inside the great temple of Dagon, their god. Kings, generals, priests, warriors, all came to mock the fallen hero. They said, "Bring Samson, let him entertain us." They wanted to laugh at him one last time. Samson touched the two massive pillars holding the entire building. Stone, heavy, strong, stronger than any human, but not stronger than God. For the first time since his fall, Samson did not trust his muscles. He trusted God and prayed his final prayer. "Lord God, remember me, not for my fame, not for my strength, just this once. Let me fulfill the purpose I abandoned. Let my life still mean something." Power returned, not like before. Stronger, not from the body, from the spirit. Samson pushed. The pillars cracked. The temple shook. The crowd froze in fear. And in one final moment, the man who fell because of desire rose because of obedience. The building collapsed. The rulers died. The armies died. The false gods fell. And Samson died with them. But this time, he died a hero. In his death, he defeated more enemies than in his entire life. Not because he was strong, but because he finally surrendered. And so ended the story of Samson. Not as a man who wasted his calling, but as a man who found it again at the end.